Yeah, Gurmaguth Kirloch, and thank you, Minister, for coming to the House this morning. And I want to thank not just yourself, but your department, everybody who has worked in the Defective Concrete Blocks working group, and all of the homeowners who have so patiently engaged with you, with your department, with the officials, and with the local authorities. It's really important, this legislation. This is about families' homes. The saga is going on for more than a decade. I want to commend you, Minister, from a Fianna Fáil perspective. I believe we were the only political party in the last general election to actually call out this issue in our manifesto and to commit to pursuing a solution for the families, for their homes who have been affected. And you have been true to your word since taking office, since this new government was formed. You made it a priority. You persisted with it as a priority when others would have sought to deflect, delay, divide. But you have stayed the course, and you are to be commended for that. And it is easy to understand why you did. We believe, the majority of us in this House believe that access to a secure home is a basic human right. And the families whose homes have been affected, they have been denied that basic comfort, that basic right. So the scheme that was in place when government took office failed those homeowners. It failed to provide them with sufficient support and redress. And it was absolutely essential and necessary that the scheme was reviewed and improved. And I believe, and my party believes, that this is a very significantly improved scheme. We believe it is one that will deliver for homeowners, that will give them the opportunity to restore their homes and to reclaim their lives. The Defective Concrete Blocks Bill underpins the new enhanced scheme, and we share your sense of urgency and desire to see this bill passed as soon as possible so that the scheme can be implemented, and most importantly, the scheme can be made available and open to those families who desperately want to reclaim their lives. It is unprecedented, a multi-billion euro state intervention like this, but it is an exceptional situation, and it is absolutely right that in these exceptional circumstances, the state intervenes. We saw how the state intervened during COVID, a national emergency. This is one that has affected geographically the northwest of our country, but it is absolutely essential that the homes there are supported, the families are supported, and that this unprecedented multi-billion euro state intervention is made. We want to see it up and operating as soon as possible. We welcome the fact that the scheme has moved from being a 90% to 100% grant. That is absolutely appropriate, and that the overall maximum grant cap has been increased from 247,500 to 420,000. That will cover 99% of the homes that are affected, not all of the built structures, but will absolutely cover the family homes, the principal private residence, and that is absolutely important. We also welcome the fact that the improved scheme has a guaranteed second grant option for the non-rebuild remediation, if that's required, and that the second grant option will remain with the home and be in place for 40 years. The fact that government has agreed to extend the scheme as required to additional counties is very welcome, and I'd like, if in your reply you can outline the timing and the process by which that will happen. The other changes, I suppose, the expanding of the eligibility from owner-occupied principal private residence to also include residential tenancy board registered properties is very welcome, and that will potentially bring in an additional 7,500 family homes, and that is really, really welcome. We do note the omission of the holiday properties, the vacant properties, but I agree, and we agree that the option there that exists with the repair and lease scheme is a very good route for those property owners into the scheme, and also to increase the housing stock which we need. The establishment of an independent appeals mechanism, can you, in your reply, Minister, just outline to the House the timing for that, please, and the process by which that will be achieved? And the fact that the Government is also establishing a new building standards regulator, a builders register, and has tasked the National Standards Authority with reviewing the concrete block standards to ensure the highest standards are complied with into the future, is really important. Everyone in Fianna Fáil supports the scheme, the legislation and the scheme, and the allocation of unprecedented public funds to this scheme to help homeowners. But we also really do want to see that there is some sort of accountability. We all know the pressure that family homes are under in terms of the cost of living. We all know, and we are, from a party perspective, constantly pushing you and government for increased funding in affordable homes, in affordable childcare. And this funding, in excess of 2 billion, who knows how much it will be, it's absolutely appropriate and needed for these families so that their homes can be restored, but it's absolutely important for the state that there is accountability as well on this issue. And so we know that there is some deterrent going forward. Minister, I want to just finally conclude by saying you will have the support of the Fianna Fáil group, obviously, in having this legislation passed, and to appeal to all parties and none in the House to use our time here productively and constructively. There are thousands of families desperately waiting for this scheme. It is not a time for politics. It is a time for us to put a scheme in place, to make it available to the homeowners who need it. The Minister and the Government have demonstrated their ability to listen to the family homeowners, to work with them, to accept the shortcomings in the previous scheme, to amend it, to bring forward a massively improved scheme. Let's get this scheme passed for these homeowners, and let's continue to work with them and government to actually ensure that they can reclaim their homes and reclaim their lives. Gormagat.